beautiful people. Thank you for joining me on my channel where we talk about tips and tricks for an effective ministry. I was going to do a series with Clean with These Three. Who could it be? But as it turns out, it's hard to get three people who are moving that have time to contribute. So I'm going to continue to try to get other people, but as I can't, I will fill in for the third slot, as I am this week talking about the color-coded system that Carey had mentioned last week on Carey's Corner. Please stay and watch till the end for Carey's Corner. She has a lot of great tips and just kind of gets you a reminder of where you should be at that time. I also have with us this week the lovely Marian Durham with some great tips. One of which, next time I move, I will definitely be trying it out. It seems like a big lifesaver. So here we go. I hope you enjoy. Please let me know if you'd like to give some moving tips, if there's something you do that could help out those ladies that are moving this year. If you would do me a clip for that, that would be so great. And also, if you don't want to miss any of this, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell right beside that so that you don't miss anything that's coming to you in this next series. I'm going to try to do it throughout the move season. So, all right, let's get to it.
Hi, Rachel. This is Major Marian Durham, and I'm farewelling from Ocala, Florida, all the way to Louisville, Texas. And I want to share just a couple of tips that I love to use when I'm moving. So I've got over here on my counter some things I want to show you. The first of which is my box, my wonderful box of packing supplies. And I love to keep everything in one place because you know what happens when you're packing at night is you forget where you leave your tape gun. So everything has a home here in my packing box. And I have more than one tape gun because we lose them in the house. I have my painter's tape so I can write content. Sometimes I use masking tape and I write on there a little more detail. But I also have... oh, I just ripped that one. The stickers that are color-coded that I love to use, especially when our kids were home and we had multiple, we have 3 kids, and each one had their own color and it went to their room. I also hope you guys have discovered this wonderful stuff. It's not tape, it's that stretch wrap. I love this, especially for my carts in my scrapbook room. I can just wrap things around it. Or my jewelry armoire. I love to wrap things with that. And I have other packing material that I just keep in here, like newspaper, or if we buy some new bubble wrap, I'll put the roll here, which makes it easy to find all in one place. I also have next to it just a wooden low crate that I use all the time for my mail. All my mail goes into one place. And you can go ahead and fill out your change of address form because it'll ask you the date of when it starts. And you know when Farewell Sunday is. So go ahead and have your mail being sent there starting on that date. You don't have to wait till right beforehand. Okay? And here's a great tip that I'm doing right now. I have a little notebook that I have gone into my pantry. And I have gone into my freezer. We also have a big freezer in this house. And I have written down on one side everything that we have that needs to be eaten. It could be some leftover spaghetti that you froze, or a bag of chicken nuggets, or fish, or whatever you have. And something you don't want to move, okay? I've written that down on one side of this paper. And then on the other side, on the other pad, I've written down meals that I can make with those items that I don't have to buy anything for. Because right now, I'm really not going to the grocery store. I'm making myself use what I already have. And by the end, we're gonna have some pretty wacky meals, but that way I'm not wasting food. And the only thing that we tend to get in these last 6-8 weeks before farewell is like milk and bread and eggs. Just those really, really basic things. Everything else, I totally eat out of my pantry and my freezer. Another great way to use up things that you already have, like you'll see over here on my counter, I have my beautiful cobalt canisters that I've had for a long time, and I move with them, but I don't keep the food in it. I like to wash them and start off clean at my new appointment. One thing that I've done before, especially when we were divisional youth secretaries and we were moving, I called a couple of our college students that lived in the area, and I said, girls, come on over and you can have anything you want. So we filled up Ziploc bags with the open flour and sugar, just everything like that I didn't want to move, that was already open, and I gave it to them. So there might be somebody in your life that you can bless. It's not something that you would give to like your food pantry, unopened things, you could do that. But open items that somebody would really appreciate and that you really think wouldn't be offended if you said, hey, you want half a bag of flour? That's a great way to bless somebody else and to help you clean out everything that you have. So I hope this helps you stay organized, especially in your kitchen as you are moving. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Hey y'all, I just recorded my color-coded moving system, and it was 16 minutes. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to edit it a lot, or it's gonna be too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rush through it, and then if you have any questions, if it's interesting to you and you wanna know, let me know, okay? I always get these, I always get the clear buckets. You don't have to. They don't hold up as well if you put a lot of real heavy stuff in it. But I've had these. This is my second appointment going on these. So they've been through 2 moves, and I use them all the time, like toting stuff back and forth to the core, or like somebody's coming over my house. I'm like, get a bucket and throw stuff in it. And then if you don't use that bucket, if nobody misses anything for 6 months, you've gotten rid of some stuff. So I use them all the time. They work well for me, but if you've got real heavy stuff, they will kind of crack down here a little bit more, okay? So I get this size, which is the 27 quart, and I also get this size, which is the 66 quart. They don't always have them in abundance in Walmart, but you can order them to the Walmart store within like a day or 2. And so that's where I get them. They're decent priced. Then when I get to the next appointment, I will, once I empty them, I will take them to the core, most of them. I'll leave like 5 at my house to use, but then I'll take them to the core to organize the core if it needs to be organized with clear buckets. And so that's always worked for me, okay? I find a spot in the house, I lay it out. I have, my last place was a island, and I would lay out my papers, and I'd put the buckets under. But this place would be my dining room if I moved. Okay, so I put those buckets on the floor. Okay, then I lay out my colored papers like this. I always have a stash of, I only got a couple this right now because I'm not moving, but I have a stash of document protectors. I lay these out. I put my planner. I actually pulled out my planner from last time, and this actually is my moving packing list that I had when I moved last time. And so I always have that sitting there with the pen, or if I carry it with me, my planner everywhere, so I know I won't lose it. So whenever I start packing, I just pull out my planner and put it there. And then I get Astro Bright. You want to see the food off of that? Check out my supplies I always have on hand video. So I always have the color paper, Astro Bright color paper, and I set it out. And then people get to pick their color. So this is my system. Now, there's a couple of things. Right now, my kids have a room that they share because they like it that way, and a playroom. But in our next house, it may not be like that. So I would give Tucker a color, and I would have him keep his playroom stuff separate. So I'd have him keep his toys in a bucket and his clothes in a bucket. I only pack like items in a bucket. So if we got there and there was blue on the door, but we found out later we could do like a playroom, then he would just move that one bucket over. and we wouldn't have to like try to separate it. The other thing I do is I keep items together. So all of my stuff is gonna be an orange color. That's usually, you know, my color in the house. But I would, like, my closet is gonna be separate than my bathroom sink, and my bathroom sink is gonna be separate than my linen closet. Even if I have more room in there, I do not overfill those buckets. I'm separated like that because the less walking around I do, the more I can focus on that thing and just get that bucket emptied, because that way I'm not like 1 minute emptying the bathroom, you know, sink, and then I got to take something to the pantry, and you know, I get stuck doing something over there. Before you know it, I'm in the field catching butterflies and nothing's getting done, right? So I keep those light. Also, I keep them light so that when I get to the other end, the littlest person in my house can help. The 90-year-old neighbor over there with the walker can help. Like, it don't matter. Everybody's gonna be helping me unload this truck, okay? So that helps me. It helps me to open the truck and not see just a sea of totes, but when I see those bright colors, it breaks it up for me immediately in my head, and I know, okay, it's not that much. It just makes it feel not so overwhelming on the other end. I work a little bit harder to be meticulous on this end, so on the other end, it's more like fun and exciting instead of overwhelming and really super stressful. So what I would do is I would fill a bucket, say it's a mom's closet bucket. I would take my orange piece of paper, I would write mom's closet, I put it on my list, tote number 1, mama's closet. And then I would take it to the garage, and that would be it. We do try to like stack them kind of by, we stack them not by numbers but by colors, but if we can't, that's fine. Other ways you can do this is you could do it with white paper and colored markers. You could do it with duct tape if you wanted to. You could do it with totes, like color-coded totes, but it's hard to find the same size totes, all different colors, and like I get a little sketchy if my stuff isn't like all the same size. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have a color-coded system, or if you have a system that you're like, girlfriend, I got something way more simple than that. Hey, holler at me, let me know in the comments, whatever. We want to know. Let's help each other out, because there's some ladies right now that are moving that are really stressed. So yeah, so let's just love on each other in this way, okay? All right.
Hey, welcome to week 2 of Carey's Corner, where we're going to talk about just some tips and tricks for getting ready for our move and our transition, to help you do the things you need to do now, so that the last couple of weeks you can just enjoy those times with your core family and your neighbors and your friends and your family. So this week we really are focusing on just a few things. Number 1, we want to make sure that we are finishing up all of our doctor's appointments that we started last week, getting our records together, getting those things ready, especially if you've got kids going to camp or kids being enrolled in daycare or school. You'll want to make sure that you touch base with that state's website to find out if there's special forms, and immunizations may be different state to state, so just check on that. Number 2, you're going to want to make sure that you start with your wall decor, those things that aren't essential but will be packed away so that they'll be ready and moved safely once you move to the next location. Number 3, finish your brief. Go on and walk through that brief template and make sure that you've got everything ready to go for that. Make sure that you have all of the pertinent information. One thing that I would do is start printing off the soldiers lists, the local officer rolls, all of those things that will be attachments for your brief. Go on and print those out so that you can get that ready to go. Once you're finished with your brief in the next few weeks, you'll want to email a copy to your DC as well as to the incoming officers. And I would also suggest to get those attachments sent as well, because that brief a lot of times will put see attachment or attached. So make sure you get those printed off as well. Make sure you get that punch list ready to go for any repairs that need to be made to your quarters or the core. You're going to want to get those scheduled. Even if you're scheduling them for the end of your time, you will want to make sure that you get those scheduled because things seem to be really delayed right now. So make sure you do that. Number 4, start decluttering. If you haven't used it in this appointment, chances are you're not going to use it in the next. So go through as you're packing, go through the boxes that you haven't opened and see if you can bless someone else with those items, donate them to the thrift store, or if you're really bold, have that yard sale, make a few extra bucks for your move and get those out of your hair. I would also, if you haven't already, contact the person that's following you. Get their biography, get their pictures so that you can help your core family start to get to know that person. One thing that's happened already here is that some of our core members have already touched base with those that are following us. Because they're wanting to check to see what doctors are in the area. And they've been able to connect that way, and that's going to be really important and a way for them to start fresh here and to help our core families start to get to know those that are coming. I would also check with your FS or your Secretary for Business to see if they've already scheduled your checkout audit. Your bookkeeper is going to want to pull those things that are that they need to prepare for that audit. So make sure you know when that is happening so that you can get prepared for that. The last thing I would just say is start thinking about the things that the incoming officer is going to need. You're going to need fresh linens, towels, washcloths, dish towels, bed linens, all of those things. And then maybe you don't want to buy them all at once, but maybe every week up to the move, start buying a set of sheets or start buying the new pillows, those kind of things, so that you can make sure that they're ready for the new officer. You will see as the weeks go on that you're going to be spending a lot more time with cleaning and scrubbing and all of those things, and we may forget the little things, the little details. So start those now while you're thinking about it, and you will be good to go by the end of your move. Know that you are loved and that you are prayed for, and you can do this. This is a process. It's going to take time. Oh, one other tip. Last night we were talking, and I realized that we only have like 3 weekends that we have free to start packing and cleaning because of all of the events that are happening in the spring. We're getting our son ready for graduation. We're doing college visits. My daughter has a trip that she's going on for the school. So all of these things are going to take up time that we would have spent on the weekend doing this. So make sure that you check your schedule, look it over. You may need to take a day each week during the work week to make sure that your house things are taken care of. So go ahead and look at your schedule, and if you have to, put it in your calendar what you're going to do each week. That list that that I am working off of is a list that was created and is now given as part of the brief template. So check that list, make sure you are good to go, and then schedule the items that you need to schedule. It's all right. You are doing great, and we can do this together. Hope you have a great week.
Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to know about. And as always, enjoy this crazy calling. See you next time.